Violator. Our kind of violators. We violate much of what belongs to you and what you are. Our violation of you, however, occurs because of a particularly fundamental trait that we instinctively look for in the people that we target. It appertains to your empathic trait of honesty, and this is the concept of trust. We look for trust, and we violate it. We look for those who place particular reliance on trust, and then we abuse that trust. Most people operate on a basis of trust. If they did not, the world would grind to a halt. Trust lubricates so many transactions between people, whether those transactions are social, financial, or emotional. When somebody tells you, "I like your shirt, it suits you," you trust them to be telling you the truth. If you did not do so, you would stop and cross-examine them as to why they like it, in order to evaluate whether you believe their comment to be a true one or not. You trust the company from which you make a purchase to deliver when they say they will, and that the product will be fit per purpose. You trust your colleagues to do their jobs effectively, so that you can fulfill your obligations. You trust the police in the main to maintain law and order. If you did not, there would be anarchy and vigilantism rife. It is axiomatic that there has to be trust, otherwise everything would be slowed down or stopped as people evaluated, analysed, weighed up, questioned, and verified. Trust, inherent trust, is evident everywhere, and there is no greater trust than that which is expected in an intimate relationship, and placed upon it by your kind, the empath. People trust their partner to have their best interests at heart, to trust them not to do something to hurt them, to trust them to be faithful and loving. We know instinctively where lesser and mid-range, or consciously and aware where greater are the ultra-narcissist, that in order for you to love in the way that you do, that deep and unconditional love, there must be trust. You approach your relationships with this trust held out in front of you, a symbol of good intent. You presume that everyone else that you will engage with will adopt a similarly trusting stance. You expect them to reciprocate this trust. You trust that they will trust. You are not a cynic. You don't operate in the realm of suspicion and mistrust all of the time. To do so would be admitting defeat and would tarnish the ideal of love that you are committed to. You accept much at face value. That isn't to label you as naive. That would be unduly harsh, for as I have mentioned, many people operate on the basis of a trust, and so they must. You apply this trust to your dealings with those that you fall in love with, led to believe by us that this trust will be reciprocated, that it will not be breached, betrayed, or damaged. You are a truth-seeker. That shores up this trust. You apply honesty in all your dealings, and the taint of lies and dishonesty offends you considerably. The stench of our deceit, the rank odour of our mendacity is great, but the perfumed veil that we cast over such dark and dangerous deceptions is such that the malodorous warning never nears you. You are conned into believing what we tell you is the truth when we first encounter you. We operate with such conviction we have to. Our narcissism makes it that way. The air of confidence we exude, the seemingly unquestionable and unimpeachable behaviours. We look you in the eye. Those unseen mirrors, reflecting back at you your earnest trust so that you see what you require. You look upon the feigned honesty, apparent openness, and this maintains your sense of trust. By trusting, You believe that you will be treated fairly, that you will get the truth, that we will be decent with you, that we will exhibit compassion, that we will behave as a normal, healthy, empathic individual. By trusting, you anticipate that our love will be true, that our intentions are truthful, that our fidelity is real, and we govern our interactions with you under the mantle of truth, honesty, and decency. You trust that all of this will happen because we make you think that you can trust us. We will reference those who have let us down, those who have become painted black and betrayed us, and in so doing we hold up our own reliance upon trust in order to receive your trust. We make it appear that trust matters intrinsically to us. See how we have trusted others and they let us down. We have always trusted beforehand, and so you can be assured that we want to gain your trust, and you shall have ours. It is all carefully orchestrated by our narcissism to channel one of the fundamental tenets by which you abide. When we gain that trust, and we do so easily, you enable us to take this valuable commodity and apply our own veneer to it, reinforcing it and demonstrating to you just how much we value it. As a fellow disciple in trust, this enables us to conduct ourselves in a way which ensures that we are above suspicion. When we meet with a member of the opposite sex and explain that she or he is just a friend, and it's just a friendly drink, you've no reason, initially, to think otherwise. You trust us. When we tell you that we are working late, you trust us. When we borrow money from you and say we will repay you, you trust us. When we tell you that we are using the contraceptive pill, you trust us. When we tell you that we love you and we never loved anybody like this before, you trust us. Trust equals the truth. We then violate your trust by carrying out the necessary treacherous acts. We court other partners and shatter your trust. As you sit at home watching television thinking we are working hard for our future together, we are philandering and sliding our tendrils around a fresh prospect. When you are making that dinner for us both, looking forward to an evening together, I am showering in a hotel room as I seek to wash away the scent of the person that I have just fucked. When you check your bank balance and consider what you will do with the return of the investment that I talked about so that you lent me the money, your hard-earned money is being used to impress someone else so that they fall into my clutches. We take this very thing, trust, that is of such central importance to you, and we violate it again and again and again. We disrespect it and we trade it just like a commodity, because we commoditize your trust. When you eventually realize your trust has been shattered, and this has happened repeatedly, when you finally wake up and join the dots, when you see the flagrant breaches of your trust, when the evidence is irrefutable and painful, we may well have vanished into the ether. Not only have we violated your trust, but we have left without explanation or reason, leaving you to deal with the aftermath alone, as we move on to the next target and gain their trust in readiness for its violation. Like any confidence trickster, it is necessary for us to gain trust before we are able to violate it. Not only do we hurt you repeatedly through these actions, we do so to such an extent with so many people, and with so many people aware of it, other than you, until the last possible moment. This wide-ranging and wholesale violation of trust, this tarnishing and defacing of the truth, leaves you broken and unable to face the totality of the truth. You struggle. Indeed, you may not even comprehend that you have been conned so extensively and so often. You cannot bear the sensation that arises from having been made to look so foolish. You held your trust up as something to be proud of, and now you are left to rue your reliance on this, as you hear the repeated comments of, "Told you so, didn't you notice?" and "You really are too trusting." You equate trust with the truth. Our violation of your trust causes you to not want to accept the truth of what we have done. It causes you not to realize what we are. It causes you to not want to accept how we behave. We are the violator, and we violate your trust.